My name is Zachary Faust, and I'm about to tell you the 21 things I think you need to know before considering making the move to Delaware. Number 10 is my favorite, 14 is a close second, and number 20, frankly, makes me sad. And if you're interested in what's going on in Delaware, from housing to what's happening to what's going to happen next, our Loft report is updated monthly and put right into your hands. Scan this QR code to get that. The first thing you need to know about is our crown jewel. If you show up to a shop, if you order off Amazon, if you buy that new car and have it delivered to you, it doesn't matter how you buy something, because if you buy it in Delaware, you don't have to pay sales tax. Delaware is one of the few remaining states in the country that has a 0% shopping tax. That is 000, meaning if you buy a candy bar, if you buy groceries, if you go and put in a giant order online, if it's coming to a Delaware address, 0% will be your tax. Number 2, we have a lot of protected land, beautiful land, and upkept pristinely by our parks divisions. We have a lot of beautiful nature. I'd point you immediately in the direction of our beaches, like the Cape Henlopen State Park, or the White Clay State Park up north would be two immediate destinations, but everything in the middle, from Lum's Pond to Killen's Pond, all the way up to Blackbird Forest, there's a lot of opportunity to see nature in different statuses within our state. I don't think that makes any sense. Let's get to number 3. Hospitals, long-term care, emergency care, child care. If these are things that are important to you, which if you have a family, you have a body, you have a brain, it might be of importance to you, then medical care is something you're going to like in Delaware. BB down at the beaches, Nemours and AI up north, and of course, the brand new facilities being built right here in Milford offer a plethora of options when it comes to medical facilities, not just for regular checkups, but for physical therapy, for long-term care, for hospice facilities. There's a lot that is not just already available, but becoming available and being updated seemingly year over year. Number 4 is for my history buffs. Do you know how Delaware was founded? Delaware was actually founded by a man named Delaware. He was a baron, if that makes any sense to you, and Dutch people ended up being the main founders of Delaware, and we became a state in 1776. The very first state, as you'll hear many times alluded to when you're here, to sign that Declaration of Independence, and that was signed by the great Caesar Rodney. I'll re-mention the Cape Henlopen State Park for history's sake. They got gigantic cannons, literally cannons, out there that are just mind-boggling to look at. Beautiful museums to check out the history, even shipwreck museums. Up north, we have a fort, a literal fort called Fort Delaware. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of nuance to our coastal state, and I think the history buffs will find a fun time in Delaware. Number 5 is the food. I know there's going to be people from Jersey that are like, we got the best pizza. People from New York like, what about a hoagie? Like, I don't even know what y'all call your sandwiches up there. The point of it being is we are a diverse state. We do not have that one thing that Delaware is known for, but might I remind you, we are so close to so much that we have become a melting pot for amazing sushi, seafood, and steak down at the beaches. Incredible burger joints all throughout central and northern Delaware. Taco festivals that we literally host for tequila and tacos, okay? We have a peach festival dedicated to just one fruit, even a scrapple festival, and I hate scrapple. Delaware loves food, and I love food. So I love Delaware, and that's one of the biggest reasons for me for being here. Moving back outside, we're not talking about just parks, we're not talking about just trails, we're not talking about just hiking, we're talking about all of it combined. The outdoor opportunity to go walk on a beach, to go see a lake, to just be outside and not be in a big metropolitan space. You could be out in the boonies, you could be in the suburbs, you could be out in a field. Delaware has a lot to give and a lot to offer, and I think the size of it and its capacity to be compared to the areas around it like Ocean City and Philly and DC loses some of its own appeal for being able to have an outdoor space that is diverse and fulfilling. That was a little deeper than I intended. I like Delaware's outside space. Number 7, as I just alluded to, we're close to everything. So the ease of travel to New Jersey, to Philadelphia, to DC, Annapolis, Baltimore, Ocean City, Maryland, heck, Ocean City, Jersey, New York City, all of these places, even down to Williamsburg, Virginia, you're talking a 3-4 hour scope around us gets you everywhere. 1 to 2 hours can get you plenty of places. So if you're looking to be in Delaware for the gain of equity, for the value you would have by being here, you may also find that being here as a whole isn't all Delaware has to offer. You can have that weekend in Philly, you can have that day trip down to Virginia and be within all of these incredible areas without having to physically be living in these physical areas, which can sometimes lead to a higher price tag, more traffic, more hubbub, and you may not want that. Number 8, cost of living. You look at a cost of living index that takes the median income that is made by the average person mixed with the average that they're spending on debts like utilities, living, gas. You'll find that Delaware sits right between a 100 and a 105, but places like Jersey, New York City, New York State ranging up and above 140, even 180 plus in some areas up the Northeast, making Delaware a much more affordable option for many when it comes to cost of living. I mentioned earlier, number 10 is my favorite, but number 9 is going to be probably most people's favorite. It's the beaches. And without just telling you how much I love sand and waves make me feel calm and who doesn't love boardwalk food, without getting into the easy parts about what makes a beach great, why do I personally like the beaches and why do I think you'd like them as well? One, I don't think there's an area in the entire country, and correct me if I'm wrong and comment below if you think I am, you often do. Where in the country could you find a spectrum of beaches like you find in Delaware? I'd venture there isn't, because starting at the top from Lewis and the state park, you have the homegrown landmark beauty, been here for decades, has the downtown, and you scooch down from that and you find Rehoboth, which is like the touristy beach. It's the popular shopping and dining area, but just a hop and a skip down the Forgotten Mile and you're in Dewey, what's known as more of a party beach, upscale, up energy, water on both sides, and keep going down, you're into Bethany, more of the I'm retiring at a higher net worth and I want to be away from it all but still be close to it and have a beautiful beach and boardwalk. All the way down the Fenwick Island, which is on a whole nother stratosphere economically and specifically how many homes are available because it's a small amount of space. You have all these different types of beaches and you can keep going down the line in the Maryland and get to Ocean City, Maryland. Different boardwalks, the food you could have, to the experiences you'll have at these beaches. I'd argue Delaware doesn't have a spectrum of beaches all within an hour of each other. There's nowhere else in the country like it. But number 10 is the events. I mentioned we have an entire festival for tequila, tacos, peaches, scrapple even. But when we're talking car shows, farmers markets, weekend events, fireworks, winter strolls, fall festivals, spring flings, ladybug fests, nature groups, bike weeks. We even have a NASCAR race if you're into that. I'm not gonna sit here and list out all the events, so if you'd like to know where all of them are at, we already put that in this guide. There's 125 things to do in Delaware, as well as every single event I think you should know about. It's right in here, this QR code. It's not physically sitting here with me, this QR code. I'm hoping to edit it in. Number 11, the arts and the culture. Listen, the mansions, the immense gardens that stretch across some properties in the Winterthur areas, and the history and culture that follows along with areas like Pike Creek and Hockessin, I am in love with. Even small artsy towns, like you go to like a downtown Milton or a downtown Milford and you'll feel artsy, and there's festivals that surround the arts, from jazz and music to full-fledged art museums that line the downtowns. Delaware is and has been a pretty big scene for art. Number 12, I saw a dolphin a couple weeks ago, and not many people can say I saw a deer, I saw a raccoon, I saw a dolphin, and I saw one of them weird leaf bugs that like looks like a leaf, but it's not a leaf, it's actually a bug. I hadn't seen those in a while. Regardless, I saw all of that all within Delaware because I was at the beaches, and if you're there at around like 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., you're probably gonna see some dolphin activity, and that's pretty cool. Delaware has diverse nature is what I'm trying to say. So if you go on a bike trail, if you go out to Killen's Pond, if you go up to White Clay, I mentioned that before, you're gonna see a diverse range in Delaware for animal life, plant life, and all the above. Number 14, let's bring up the articles for this. It's been ranked the best place to retire recently by a bunch of different sources, mainly being sourced as the #1 area based off cost of living and facility access. And it's no longer a secret. The word is out, people are coming in from all different states, and frankly, it's a good investment. Because if demand stays steady while supply stays low, which it has nationally, and Delaware is not getting any bigger, prices will more than likely go up, meaning Delaware is a good investment and number 1 in the country. And if you're looking to retire yourself, shoot me a text, let me know, ask me any question, and we will give an answer. It's 302-240-2679. You can call or text anytime. Did that rhyme? I think that rhymed. That was cool. I think I said 14 on the last one, and it should have been 13, so this is 14, I believe. Follow the number on the screen because I've lost track. Community spirit! Can I give you some advice if you're moving into any city, not just a city in Delaware? One thing that people hate is being told that their area isn't as good as another. So if you come into Delaware, you're going to immediately notice the cliquiness, the group mentality, and the culture that surrounds a lot of the small towns in Delaware. Milford, Middletown, Hillsborough, any of the beaches, Wilmington, Hockessin, Newark, all of these areas have their own, and there's more, Delaware City, Harrington, Felton, you could go down the list, have their own niched down pride in their areas. And that community spirit that sometimes is as niche down as a community up into the actual town itself leads to those fun events, the enjoyable things to do, and an overall just glee and energy when you're walking down the streets and you're talking with people and you're getting to know people and you're getting to know the community. It's fun, and having structured fun and structured events that help support this culture is imperative, and Delaware does a really good job of that. Number 15, there's a whole video on this, which we'll tag at the very end if you want, but that's weather. The climate in Delaware is very, very solid in comparison to a lot of states that we hear people moving in from. If you're in the Northeast, you're probably getting a lot of snow. Delaware, 1 to 2 storms a year. If you're down south, a lot of hurricane potential, a lot of rain, a lot of heat. Delaware, you're sitting in the 75 to low 90s and really not seeing many more than 12, 14 minor to moderate thunderstorms. And I love a good thunderstorm. So again, that video if you want more on our climate. 16, craft beer, bar, grills, speakeasies. We got a little bit of it all throughout the whole state. You ever heard of Dogfish? Dogfish Brewery originated in Delaware and still is operating in Delaware. They were purchased by Sam Adams. That's a fantastic brewery and one of the great examples between Miss Pillion, between Easy Speak, who's a distillery, all the way up north. You have plenty of breweries, plenty of distilleries, plenty of options for a different type of drink, different type of atmosphere in Delaware. Also, I mentioned earlier that number 20 is my least favorite, and we're coming up on it. It makes me sad. Number 17, I think, the Dover Air Force Base and the military veteran community that has been built here is imperative to a lot of central Delaware. You'll see people walking around in uniform at lunch, dinner, whatever, and the opportunity to be around a community that is so large as the Dover Air Force Base is calming, it's securing, and it leads to a good ecosystem of people. People that really want to see the growth in their community, our staples and standards in our community, and you're going to see it often, especially if you're living in or around the Dover Air Force Base. 18, you'll love Route 1 and Route 13. If you're traveling from north to south, it's one road. It's simple. You go right up Route 1, right down Route 1. And if you're looking to get to the western side of Delaware, you can do the same thing and just go down 13. Having both of these roads run pretty much in parallel up the state makes for such easy travel in and out. And whether you're going from north to south, central, east to west, there's an easy, simple route to make it happen. Even if you're trying to leave Delaware and go out to Annapolis, we have 301 now, leaving out of Middletown. 19 is that Delaware is kind of like a club on a really big night. See, if the big artist is in town and they're going to be at the club, what happens to the club? 2 things. 1, more people are going to want to go to the club. So what does the club do? They have a cover charge. And once you're in, food and drinks, a lot of times they're going to be a lot more reasonable, but depending on how cool the artist is and how many people are brought in, will determine how high the cover charge is. Well, I've alluded to earlier that people are finding out about the secret of Delaware, and let's just say that has led to the cover charge being met with an equal number. Delaware's cost of living, as we said earlier, is very low. So being in the club of Delaware is not super taxing, but getting into Delaware does have a cover charge. And that cover charge is called closing costs. And if you look at a ranking of the highest cost areas to close on a home, you'll see that Delaware is just under Washington, D.C., leading the entire country, state speaking wise, in how much it costs to actually move into that state and close on a home. So once you're in, moderately priced, good time, and everyone wants to be there. But to get in, there's a bit of a cover charge that reflects that. Number 20 is a fact of the matter, and it's still a fact to this day. We keep getting teased that this won't be a fact for forever, but as of right now, Delaware does not have any professional sports. We have NASCAR, and that does not count, and we have the Blue Rocks, who are a minor league team. That doesn't count. We've been teased with arena football. We've been teased with another minor league team. There were even rumors of a soccer club coming into Delaware, but nothing has come to fruition. And as a sports fanatic, I can't stand that the Eagles, the Redskins, the Ravens have the fan base they do in Delaware when they don't operate here. We need a team. We need something. Other than that, Philadelphia Union or my local squad dupe, go Union. And the 21st thing you need to know before moving into Delaware is that you need a realtor that knows the area, that you can trust. I'd love to be that agent. Text me 302-240-2679. I would love to be your agent to, at the very least, answer questions if you have any about moving to our great state or moving and selling within it. We're here for you. We've been operating and helping people relocate to Delaware since 2017, and I hope you have a dandy Delaware day. Like, subscribe, hit the button, and here's some videos that are going to show up that are going to show you exactly maybe how you could make the relocation to Delaware a little bit easier on yourself, and the best places to live in Delaware if you're trying to still pick out where that's going to be.